Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 669. Hopefully, you guys have had a great weekend, all wrapped up and rested up, ready to hang out for a few. I've got a great guest for us tonight. Great meet. Pizza Pirate, you want to tell us how you're doing and where they can find you, my friend?
I am doing fantastic, and you can find me on Instagram at the Pizzailopirate.
You notice I shortened it up there. Noticed I shortened it up a little bit to what's on the
Right.
screen because I was sitting there looking at that today. I'm like, man, how I
It
wasn't quite sure the pronunciation there. So I thought I'd let
Pizzaio
you roll.
Italian for pizza master, for somebody who specializes in
Yeah.
pizza. I've done it for a couple years, so I kind of like it.
Right on, right on. It's good food. It's good food
Mm.
pizza. Especially more authentic pizza. Definitely good stuff. So I guess we should start this out where we usually do. What are
Okay.
you smoking on first and foremost? I guess we'll
Right.
start there.
Right now, I got a little mix of some more ganja farm strawberry cough. And forgive me, I do not know, but we got some living tree I picked up at Cream last weekend. Don't know what it is, but it is absolutely gorgeous. Smells fantastic, smokes fantastic. Very good work.
I had some of the more ganja, the day slayer the other day.
Oh, I haven't gotten any of that. Is that pretty good?
It was pretty good. It was
Pretty
definitely
good.
pretty damn good.
I like
I
Dave's work.
underestimated it the first time. You know what I mean? The first go ins there and doubled up. And it definitely slowed down the day. That's for sure.
Instead, so you didn't quite slay the day. Oh, it's very nice. And I'm still sitting on a little bit. I still have a little bit. When I was at Mendo in the Mitten, I got some of the cherry pie Kush from Gage Green Group, and I've been kind of sitting on that one as that special one when it's really time, a special occasion, if you will.
That should be a special treat. That should be really a nice little special treat.
Yeah, that was a fun weekend. Had a good time. Got to smoke with them, to hang out, got to meet fantastic people like you.
I agree, man. Those camping events are super fun. Super fun.
See, I those type of events, I don't want to say I kind of live for them, but I do. um, I don't live exactly in Michigan, so those types of events are, I don't know, almost like a Disney World, if you will. You get to be amongst like-minded people that you know usually don't get to be around. It's just a fantastic environment. Entertainment's awesome, and just to be around people who feel the same and think the same, I don't think that could be beat.
It's a prescription well filled for these coming off the pandemic. You
Very
know what
much
I
so.
mean?
Oh, and a prescription. Speaking of prescriptions, we could go right into my story. I mean, I'm not ashamed to tell it that use of cannabis has brought me around out of the dark depths of prescription use.
Wow.
And I guess that's why events carry such special meaning is I can be around people that's part of what I would consider the healing process. Just being around people who feel the same as you and think the same as you. Oh, this Dave Morgan stuff got me going.
Good. It's a good start. That's a good start.
Big fan of the strawberry cough.
So I guess when did it all start? When was the first time you used the plant or even seen it? Sometimes just seeing it comes prior to the first time.
I got it nailed down. It was approximately 93. Yeah, nailed down. I say approximately. It was 93. A gentleman named Tim. Do I remember what the strain was? No, not at all. Do I remember the experience? Absolutely. Most people, claim, they smoke for the first time. They don't get the full download. They don't get high, whatever. I remember laying down, completely levitating, room spinning. It hit and it hit hard. And I kind of remembered from that point forward, I like this. This is all right. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good in my own skin. Away from it for a while. Ended up having, being where I'm at and enjoying the real world and trying to support a family. I got a job on the railroad and yeah, they don't want that so much. So I went 10 years without smoking or so. Came right back. Glad I did. I fell into some prescription problems while on the railroad. And we're cutting out. I'm sorry.
Oh, keep going, my friend. A little bit of a delay.
All right, no worries. So yeah, failed that epically. Lost a fantastic job. Threw away a career. I had started making pizza, going back to the pizza thing when I was 16. I started in a little mom and pop restaurant washing dishes and eventually worked my way up until my son was born. And then I had to get job insurance. That's where the railroad comes in. After the railroad, I go back to pizza. I'm living the day-to-day life, the grind of a restaurant. And anyone who's ever worked in a restaurant, I'm not saying all of them are the same, but they can be hotbeds of illicit activity. And I fell into it. I fell into the pills. I fell into the go, constant. I felt like I was trying to keep up. The older I got, the worse I kept. The worse I get. Trying to keep up with the young kids, trying to still be awesome, I guess. There's a little ego involved with being a cook. They can sometimes be a little bit extra. And I was definitely. And I began to throw everything away. Everything. I had a beautiful home. I had a nice locked in career. I'd been with this mom and pop place since I was 16, but I kept going. I kept getting deeper. I kept getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'd love to thank my wonderful wife for being there for me and straightening me up and telling me, you know what, you could. Going back, my wife, she's a couple years older than me. Beautiful old hippie at heart. Always has loved the plant. Always has smoked the plant. Never has stopped. And she looked at me and said, you know what? You can do this all you want. You can smoke as much as you just got to get away from everything else. And I listened. And here we are, making great leaps, great bounds, great friends, having good times, meeting new people. I know I'm rambling.
Greatly appreciate the what we call squirrels around here. The little side tracks, the whatever. In fact,
Yeah.
I brought this a little later yesterday because it really, you go squirrel. So I appreciate the squirrels.
Well, and I've been drinking the coffee, so I'm extra squirrely right now. We can go down any rabbit hole you'd like.
Right now. Well, I definitely can appreciate the food angle. Um, yeah, the restaurants can be a hotbed for drugs, that's for sure. I don't think as many people realize as they do. It's it's funny. I started early on with pizza, very early on. One of my first jams there was I worked for Little Caesars here in Michigan, and actually kind of stayed there for a little bit. Same kind of thing, ran right up through, there I was a manager before I even graduated, making some pretty decent money. And I met a lot of interesting characters making some pizza. At one point,
Most
we would,
definitely.
after we'd shut down, we would, because there was a lot of locations, we would just like call out a location, and then that would be where the managers would go and hang out and
Family dinner,
after hour
meetings.
party or whatever. But yeah, good times, man.
Good times. See, I let it get the best of me. Didn't control myself. That's my fault.
So
Oh.
I heard, mention the railroad a little bit in that kind
Mhm.
of ushering in things too. How did that open the door for, I'm guessing I believe it was pharmaceutical drugs? Was it uh
Oh, the
just
rail.
there, or was it from like, yeah,
Eh, I all right. The railroad is an interesting place to work, very much so. I worked over the road, and when we worked over the road, it was at home. You got 10 hours of rest, and at that 10th hour, your phone could ring, and they could tell you to be to work at hour 12. So, say you got home at 10 in the morning, they can call you at 8 p.m. and tell you to be back to work at 10 p.m. Now, our boards were very short. A lot of older people had retired, a lot of fresh new faces. So we're moving. Freight's doing very well at the time. So, we're spinning. We're spinning. Now, they also had a rule when we get up to the hotel, we got 6 hours of rest for an 8 hour call. So you literally, if you didn't fall asleep the moment you walked in the door of the hotel, you were done. I was weak. I didn't manage my sleep schedule properly. I ran to my doctor and asked for a prescription. Now, I'd originally asked for something to, help me sleep. He says, there's nothing I can give you that would, you have to dedicate 8 solid hours and you're only getting 6 if you're lucky. So, no. But we have this new thing and it was called Provigil. And they had off prescription, you write a prescription for kind of off label or off use sort of thing. And one of them was shift workers sleep disorder for people who didn't work regular shifts. He's like, oh, that seems to fit the bill. He wrote me this prescription. It was also for narcoleptics. people that can randomly fall asleep. And it was explained it was not an amphetamine, but rather hit the region of the brain that just kept you awake. Well, I apparently, with an addictive personality, overdid it. I was taking more than I should, uh, just abusing it in general. And that's kind of where that started. So I started taking time off of work. And this was a union job, mind you. It takes quite a bit to get fired. I managed to do that with my behavior and how I acted and how I treated people due to, my addictions. Oh, railroad was awesome. Loved it. Loved it. It was a neat job. We got to see many intro. I went to Chicago, all the rail yards in Chicago. You didn't talk about meeting interesting people and seeing interesting things. That's a lot of fun. And I do miss that job. And I do regret my decisions in that, but here we are now. I wouldn't change where I'm at now for anything. I think that was, a tool to learn something, another job, if you will. We're not tied to what we do, tied to who we are. That was just a bump in the road. And another story in my addiction. It's terrible. I'm throwing away a lot of things. And I'm out of coffee.
Oh, can't have that. Hopefully you were smart enough to bring the pot with you. If not, I can hold her down for a second.
I wasn't, but maybe somebody's listening in the other room that might be kind enough to get me a cup. We don't know. We'll see. So how was your day?
It was good, my friend. It was good. Thank you for asking. We've had some nice days here in the upper Michigan last few. So I've been trying to get out there and enjoy that sun. I've been actually re-listening to a book on earthing. So the mindset of getting out there and getting my feet in the dirt has definitely been in my ear and very infectious. I think that's very true, man. Again, the second run with this book, second listen, I've watched the movie on earthing a few times, and I become more and more of a bigger fan. The more I do it, the more I learn about it. I really think everybody should, give it a fair shot anyway. I'm not quite to the point where I'm like sleeping on the grounded sheets or nothing, but if they could hold down the claims that, they say in the book, it might be a good investment.
If it gets warm enough, you can sleep out on the ground. I don't think that would be such a bad, when you say earthing, are you speaking in terms of like grounding, about connecting? I'm not familiar with.
But yeah, that's basically the idea, is that we're pretty much batteries, electrical instruments, like any other electrical instrument. And most electrical instruments need to be grounded for them to work correctly. And as we go through, our lives, we've kind of gotten away from it, the whole idea of it. We're walking constantly insulated on rubber shoes. We sleep elevated, off the earth, and even more so elevated on beds and stuff like that, pretty much severing our connection to the ground. And through that, they say that, especially nowadays, that we're overdoing it with the charges that we receive. We're constantly being bathed in Wi-Fi signal, cell signal, and all kinds of other signals that are floating through the air. And they say our bodies are picking up that. And as we hold that extra charge, it's giving us anxiety. It's causing a lot of joint pain and just a ton of ailments. And simply by going out and, kind of sticking your feet in the dirt, just like any other electrical instrument and ground, it kind of pulls that extra energy out of you and allows your body to operate like the proper electrical instrument that it is. And so there's a lot of actually good studies and scientific reports and all that good stuff behind it, and it's really fascinating, especially after you've tried it a little bit. I mean, they even were like the part of the book I was in today, they were even talking about it having relief in menstrual cycles. You know what I mean? Just completely changing that as well. So it's super interesting, all the different aspects that, just sleeping grounded, walking at least, 20 minutes with your feet in the dirt every day can take off a lot of stress, angst from the body and help cure just a ton of diseases. So, well,
I'm
it's a
looking
fight.
into it.
Well,
I'm going to be looking into
if you
it,
get a
definitely.
chance, there's a little movie on YouTube called Earthing, and it's about an hour long, and that's a hell of a start. That's a hell of a start. It's I mean, you'll be 10 minutes in, and before you know, you'll be all the way through it going, oh shit. It all really makes a lot of sense.
I'm down. I am definitely down. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
So yeah. Want to give a shout out to the old lady, your wife there, for help pulling you out, man. That's pretty awesome. You gotta give some credit where credit is due. And so it's good, nice to hear that somebody you've taken the role. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, would you like to hear that story? I'm more than happy to tell that story.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed about it. I find it funny. It shows what kind of woman this woman is. I love her with everything that I am. This woman barely maybe 5'2", right? Maybe she's got a pair of shoes on and 100 pounds soaking wet. And this is, I'm strung out, acting a fool, arguing. And this woman just swift kicked me square between the legs and looked at me and told me to figure my shit out. And it was kind of that moment where it just went, I think I need to listen to her. I think I think she's getting her point across. And the only way that she knew how, this tough little old lady decided to whip my butt and tell me that, you know what, you deserve better and everyone else around you deserves better. And yeah, I love that woman to death. Love her to death. Thank you.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, my friend. Super awesome. So I guess what happened before the break there? I guess we kind of blew right through that whole beginning a little bit. There was the first time, and then did you hang out with the cannabis for a while before you had to quit? I mean, I know you had to take the break, but how long before the first time and the quit?
First time before the quit before the railroad, I guess, is that the question? I kind of stuck with it the entire time.
Okay.
It wasn't up until maybe a year before I thought about the railroad, because they do a hair test and it goes for like 6 months. So I wanted to be extra sure. So yeah, it had always been an on and off type of relationship. remember. I don't remember. I remember we had old AOL dial-up service. Like, this was before my son was even born. So before 2000. I don't know if it was Overgrow. I don't know what old website that it was. And they were holding a prize, a giveaway. And it was some Mullumbimby Madness seeds. And I'm thinking, I ended up winning. So this is like, early, late 90s somewhere on. I'd kill to have those seeds again. Those would be something very interesting. But I remember getting those seeds and just, I threw it in a barrel. And understand, we all came from somewhere. We're just playing and learning and trying and, doing the best that we can. And I had it in this barrel and like a circular, I don't even know if they were LED. They were probably like compact fluorescent or something along there, or even just straight fluorescent. And I remember it grew, it got about a foot tall, and then it grew up into the light before I realized it. And I just completely, I had no clue what I was doing. No clue. So I guess, I've been playing around with the plant and smoking it and enjoying it in some fashion. Yeah, up until I started with the railroad. And then after the railroad, I had a little 10-year hiatus. Somewhere in that range. But I haven't really started, medically, trying to find the best possible, trying to find good quality, trying to find something that helps you. I guess I'd been dabbling in and out of just smoking recreationally before that. But now we medicate.
I kind of throw you into the medical side of it right from the beginning, to be honest with you, because you worded it a little differently, but it same, I think. And that's I hear it a lot in that first story is cannabis kind of made me feel normal. Maybe
Well, yeah,
I felt
most human in my
myself
own
for
skin.
the first time. Yeah. So, I think you may not have realized it, but I think it was medical right from the get.
Just not understanding what it was. True. Yes.
So what's been one of your favorite strains so far? Did they actually have names from the start? Can you remember names from the start? When was the first time you were all like, this is, you know what I mean?
This is the one that just stood out above and beyond. I wish I knew names, but it wasn't really, there was no names. It was, and especially being where we are, we had something and it was usually brown and, you had to go through hoops and, access definitely was not easy. But the first time that was a friend of mine said his uncle grew in Michigan about 10 years ago. And it was some critical hog. And I tell you what, that there was something about that critical hog, that specific plant would, just like the first time I would sit back in the chair and you almost have to get a little grip because you knew here it comes. And it would make me spin every single time. I would just melt into the chair and that was it. We were done. And that critical hog really I haven't found anything that would flatten me like that since. I would love to find something like that again.
Right. I sometimes think these names, well, I understand that new creations need new names, but on like more of a joking side, I think some of that was just a sales ploy or technique
Oh,
You get
most
every time you'd see
definitely.
the
Most
my guy
definitely.
always had a couple of drawers, the low drawer, the high drawer, even back then, low, I guess, middle shelf, top shelf. And
Mm.
so he would like to play that game after some point too. Yeah, I got this, you know what I mean? So
Like
if you're always
what's
looking in
hot
there, it's
in high
always a new
times.
name. Yeah, I got this. You gotta check this out. You definitely gotta check this out. Oh yeah, I
I
gotta try that.
I'm completely jealous that you had choices. Even a low shelf or a mid shelf. It was you got what the guy had. You were lucky. It's that type of environment. Definitely different. It could have just been where I grew up. Very conservative, tiny little town in Indiana. That yeah, trying to find something became difficult or was difficult. Uh, Honestly, access for us, I'm gonna go throw it out there, but I really wish people would quit going to dispensaries and would go out to festivals and would meet and greet and make some friends and find different ways of obtaining their medicine. That to me would be amazing. You know, I I talk to people at work. I'm that guy. Okay. I'm that guy. Like, I'm not shy. I'm in a red state and I'm going to tell you I smoke because you know what? I believe in it and it saved my life. So, a lot of people, when I tell them about events that are happening locally, such as, like Big Cloud Farm, they have no clue and it's 25 minutes away. But we live in such that clamped down type of scenario that even people don't know. And you tell them, and then I have seen faces that I've told show up there and they're just blown away. They didn't know that they could have access to their medicine, good quality, without being ran around in circles for you know low quality.
Yeah, it is hard to believe that in this day and age that there is such a darkness still around cannabis like that, access and there's still people, there's still states because they're red, people have no idea that there's, YouTube content on, or cannabis content on YouTube. They can already be learning how to grow and shit like that. You know, it's
That's
sad, but
that's kind of where I
I
started.
loved it.
Is open your eyes and look around, and yeah, like you said, the content, find people, find friends.
I I love the fact that you're doing some of the work down there, though. Still telling these people you gotta go. It ain't that far. Get in your fucking
Get
car.
in
We
your
can
fucking car
carpool.
and drive. Right? I'll take. I honestly, one gentleman, he got fired before the. I don't know if it was Mendo in the Mitten or Cashmere Clouds, but I was going to take him. I was going to take him, and he got fired, and he never got in contact with me. I feel horrible, but yeah, it's not far. Not far.
Yeah, I hope more and more people do. The more and more people that do see what goes on, will hopefully start the fight in their area. You know what I mean? Help get this going in their neck of the woods.
That's the only way we can get anything to happen is you have to get people to stand up and say, okay, you know what, there's nothing wrong with this. There's no issues with this. Why do you have a problem with it? And we speak to your local representatives and start from the bottom. You gotta start somewhere. You guys in Michigan did it.
I'm not discouraging you all from coming here either, man. I have a good time meeting you guys.
uh, Listen, that is the ultimate plan. My wife and I need just a little spot in the middle of the woods, in the middle of nowhere, and just let us grow our own and we'll leave everyone alone and we'll be happy. And so, yeah, to come up to Michigan definitely is the ultimate dream, the ultimate goal.
Hope you guys do. I hope you guys do. You know, it's funny about like the getting. I was handing some seeds away just yesterday, and the cat says, well, what do you want?" And I'm like, "For you to stop buying weed." That's it.
That's it.
Start
It's
growing.
start growing, and you know it's in it. You know it's good. You know it's clean, and yeah, just to grow your own would just that would be the again. See, I speak of it as a dream, and again, 25 minutes across the border, it's not a dream. Again, I made horrible decisions in my life. I'm currently stuck in the place that I am, but not for long. Not for long. So soon, soon, Michigan, we'll be there.
So have you ever tried to grow? I mean, I understand you're in a red state, but that doesn't mean that there haven't been some good pioneers, you know.
Okay. All right. Again, not a professional, feet in the water, but where I did live, the one that I so horribly lost, it's my fault. I had a basement. I had two lights. I had a ceramic metal highlight and a 600 watt. And my wife, again, bless her heart, when she said that cannabis is the way, and I said I wanted to grow, she went out and bought me like a $600 ebb and flow hydroponic system, timer, just like I think it was like 6, 8 buckets. I forget. Just beautiful setup. And I was like, you know what? Here we go. Not knowing a thing, just jumping in and got some seeds. And let's see, I had some OG18. Loved that plant. Some Skittles crossed with Gorilla Glue. A couple of freebie auto flowers. And then shark's breath from DNA. Great white shark with Jamaican lamb's breath. That was a good plan. So anyway, here I go, rock wool, no knowledge, just internet, YouTube, just searching willy-nilly all over the places, millions of sources of information, everyone's right, or you know how that works. So I just dive in, just go for it, throw the lights up, throw the Panda film, knowing nothing about vapor pressure deficit, environment control. I had a couple of oscillating fans, but that was about it. Just going for it. And we were doing all right. We were doing great. And my wife was completely right in getting me it was therapy. Do not get me wrong. It was therapy. It was to be amongst the plants, to touch the plants, to watch them grow, to slow down time and be more on their level was almost as therapeutic to me as actually consumption of the plant. Just tending, caring. Loved it. So we're chugging along again. I understand the 12-12, the light cycle, and but my temperatures are swinging all over the place with the ceramic metal highlight, the high pressure sodium down in the basement. Humidity's all over. It's more humid than not. Just a mess. I'm flowering. I think we're getting somewhere. And we do, but it just I'm not taking accurate records. I'm doing all of the rookie, horrible mistakes, not writing anything down, not paying attention, over paying attention sometimes. And anyway, we flower them out. Ended up, I had a light leak. We didn't end up with any herms, thank goodness. So nothing was seeded, but it just kept going and going. You get that foxtaily and kind of, I'm finished, I'm not finished, I'm finished, I'm not finished. I gave up, I chopped it. Buddy had got me into herbs now. I had tried that. It seemed to work well, but again, I was down in the basement. I had no control over, excuse me. I had no control, things were just swinging all over the place. So I ended up with this harvest. I wet trimmed. Everyone forgive me for that one. I made a mess of it all. Some of it ended up being smokable, if you will. Sometimes you aren't picky when access is limited. And I tell you what, that shark's breath for DNA was something different. And I would love to get some of that again and give it a shot under maybe hopefully learning more as I go. But yeah, that was my experience really with I've sprouted some seeds where I'm currently at, just to the fact of God, I want to really play with the plant. And then they'll get about a foot or so and they begin, showing true characteristics of what they are. So you really can't hide it in the event that you need to. So I end up having to cull it. It's a waste. I know, I get it, but that's how desperately I just want to, grow. And it's sad that we live in a place where we can't do that. It's just a plant. It's just a plant. It's a tomato. It's a pumpkin. It's a flower. Beautiful flowers all over my deck. Can't grow the right type of flowers though, not the ones that I want to.
You're in the right place. I'm sure there is myself and a ton of people that would like to help you on that journey, my friend. See you just growing your own, like I said, man. Shit, I know I'll send you seeds. I know there's tons of people around here that send you seeds to get rolling. If you want to help get rolling, and as much advice as you need. I don't. Part of the deal of doing this. I mean, we're skipping around a little bit, but part of the deal of doing this, is being able to hang out in the weed nerd world. So after tonight, after you come hang out, there's the weed nerd world. I don't know if I told you about that aspect of the show, but there's the weed nerd world is how I use it. Is cap off some nights. Monday nights a weed nerd world for sure, 2 a.m. Monday nights Eastern Standard Time. But any other night is like, say we go short tonight. I told you 11:30 to 4:20. That's usually how it works. So we go short, and then I'll turn around and open the night up again with the weed nerd world. And so that's all past guests. Anytime anytime you see a weed nerd world, flip on the channel, it says weed nerd. You're more than welcome. Hit that link. Come on, fucking hang out, smoke, show your garden. You know what I mean? Show your garden if you want. Have you had any questions? Yeah, if you hell yeah. So we'd love to have you, help you out, help you get to that point where you no longer need to be, you know what I mean? Fuck yeah. We'd love to see you. There's been a few people, Johnny Canasee, when I met him, he had only had like 6 months under his belt and had a small garden going. You should see that cat today hanging out every night, man. He's got some skills from, hanging out every night, listening to everybody's, how they do things, picking up his own little things out of everywhere. So yeah, man. Hopefully you do hang out, come learn some stuff.
I would like to, very
That'd
much
be awesome.
so. Very much so.
And it's funny because uh what you've said about your grow experience right now is something I say quite a bit when I argue the medical side of cannabis. Is I truly believe the healing power of growing the plant is every bit as effective, if not more, than the consumption of the cannabis. That Zen time you're talking about in your room, it's nothing, not a lot matters. You know, you might be a little bit, you should shake that off at the door. Don't get me wrong, you
Mm,
should shake that off at the door. But if you can't, the plants most certainly will bring you out of that, snap you out of that in a matter of time. And then once you're in the garden, that's all that matters. The garden. So it is a very powerful healing experience while you're working with the plants and cultivating it. So I definitely hear you. It sounds like you're already on the right path, my
trying,
friend.
trying. Got a long way to go.
Yeah, you're a perfect gentleman for one of the events, though, man. As I wandered up and talked to you, you definitely seemed like an old friend. You were fun to talk to. You know what I mean? I even came back around several times, just kind of shake hands right quick, man. Talk to you right for a sec. Like,
I
definitely a fun person.
I want to give back what I feel like has been given to me just by even getting this another chance, you know, around cannabis. So yeah, when we met, okay, you want to talk about nice. I was helping the gentleman run his booth. He had prior engagements, so I jumped in. I met this guy on Instagram, the Garden Nursery, Mr. Rick. Love this guy. Just jumped right in and said, you know what, dude, I'll help you. I'm going to Big Cloud anyway, and I felt that as my opportunity to kind of give back. As you know, I'm not growing. I can't grow. So I got to give back what I'm taking from the plant. I can't just keep consuming. And, I got to give back in some way. If I can't grow it, then you give back to the community. To me, that's what I guess feel like an old hippie, I suppose. But you want to give back because you feel like it's given so much to you. And that's why at the event, when I talk or, because I feel like everyone who consumes the plant or is involved with the plant, they all kind of get it. Everyone kind of vibes on the same level. And it's easy for me. I seem to be rambling away now, but, in real life, you ever catch me, I'll climb up. I'm kind of an introvert, but being around the plant, and it was very easy to open up and be around people who also care about the plant. I just want to be nice. I wasn't so nice during my prior times. And I feel like I got to go a little bit overboard now. You know, I want to be the best person I can possibly be. I want to help the community because, there may be somebody else out there like me who just needs that little nudge in the right direction, who if you meet the community and you meet all these neat people, life can be so much different.
Agree with that. I definitely agree with that. It is a powerful experience, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of decided to capture that. I don't usually do that. You know what I mean? That was
I
my
know.
first experience. Usually when I go, I'm right there with you, man. I'm there just to be in the moment and fucking have some fun and just take it all in. But for one reason or another, I had a few minutes of, I guess, being by myself. I am of an introvert too, and I've gotten used to this. You know what I mean? So I decided, what the fuck? I'm gonna just pull out my camera. You know what I mean? I started fucking recording it all, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did, just because,
I'm
a lot of times I've went to them things that you seen, a bunch of folks were there, we had met there and had a fun, little meet up there. And then we kind
mhm,
of get on here because a lot of those folks I know, through this experience. You know what I mean? They made the pilgrimage. A lot of them folks were, we had 4 different states that showed up pretty much, just through this to meet and hang out there and have some fun and, whatever. And so the community has got to hear a little bit of these stories, hanging out in the woods and having fun in the campfires and shit. And they're, oh man, I wish I could attend to one of these events. So I think it was nice on their end to actually kind of see firsthand, you know what I mean?
oh,
What was going on and some of the people that were there. And I think yourself, I talked to you live on camera and a bunch of other great
mhm,
vendors and folks, they just drove home the point. You know what I mean? You cats, all of you just drove home the point of the welcome, fun, like, spirit that goes on at these events. Cheers to
community,
you, my brother. Yeah.
community, family, kind of all this weird, extended, strange family, you know, that, yeah, uh, come out to an event and the vibe's just different. But I wanted to thank you for doing that, for letting everyone kind of see that, hey, this is what happens, this is what goes on. Appreciate that very much. Um, I'm only one guy. You have a much bigger platform. You can, hey, and this is what happening, guys. This
Oh
is what we're
man.
doing.
It works both ways. It truly works both ways. Because I too, I used to do the events quite a bit. And then unfortunately the pandemic came. And I gotta give Michigan credit because as everybody shut down, we still powered through. We didn't have as many events, but we still had events. And we even there was times in Clio, like mid pandemic, we're fucking partying down, no mask, we're passing joints, everything that we weren't supposed to be doing. And the world's like kind of looking in and going, like, it's all right, but here we're partying
People are
down
crazy.
anyway. Yeah. So, I gotta give Michigan some credit, but man, it's twofold, man. I missed them. I last year I think I maybe only went to 2 events, and that stuff is really food for the soul. It really is. And getting out and hanging out at Mendo in the Mitten, meeting folks like yourself, really, really, really reignited a lot of the passion I had for the events. And I immediately came back on and said that like the next day. I was like, I think I just might become a cannabis event gypsy and just go from
If
coast to coast covering
if
these
I could
things
throw
for
my
you guys.
if I could put my wife in an RV and do such a thing, oh, on it. Let's go. Definitely. Yeah. Event to event, that would be perfect. I completely completely get it.
Uh, So yeah, I gotta thank you as well because man, it like I said, it was great folks like yourself that man just kind of reignited that fire. I was like, this is what I've been missing. I had a lot of fun down there. I really did. Not just at the event, but at the night times. I think that's what makes those events special. Without the camping aspect of it, I love the events, but I kind of
Mhm.
get the carnival feel for them. Unless they're a homebred event, I get the
Mhm.
carnival feel. You know what I mean? I can
I,
appreciate
I,
events like Clio, Big Clouds, and stuff like that. You get to know the people that are putting it on, and you know they're supporting the community, and you get to know the community. A lot of the same folks who like say high times and shit comes to town. I just kind of feel like the circuses came to town. Like, you know what I mean? It's fun. You go and it's here, it's gone. But the camping events, man, like I said, man, you could have fun all day. You could pick out lots of fun things to, smoke and partake in. But then
mhm.
things calm down, everybody kind of retreats back to their campfire, and then you can hear people smoking and laughing and having fun and consuming some of the stuff they picked up through the day. And then you get up and you do it again, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
You wake up the next morning and you go, I saw you yesterday. You ready to go today? Let's go. Here we go. Yes.
it,
It's
it's like everybody enjoys camping too, but usually when you prior to like these events and shit like that, you would be sneaking that joint at the campfire. You know what I mean? You fuck people around looking around, but
absolutely
now at these events, man, you hit that
the
joint, stretch and look
this
around. Everybody else is smoking. It's already in the air. You're like, this is nice.
this is the wait a minute. I can do this. Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because I admit I was one of those, my first event was in Clio. It was a High Times Cannabis Cup, but it was my first experience with that type of scenario, that type of setting. And deer in the headlights, when you didn't know, or, when you just made the plunge and said, you know what, this looks kind of neat. I think I might be interested in something like this. And then you walk in the front door and you went, I don't think I was ready for this. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I understand that carnival experience that you were talking about, and in the camping experience. Yeah, it's definitely different. Underneath the stars, out. Hey, you know what I enjoy? Like you said, there were people there from several different states, right? I've been to a couple of these events now, and now I ran into people from a distance, Wisconsin, even Iowa. Um, and I've ran into them at these events reoccurring. Hey, how are you, dude? I remember you. And we've shared meals, we've camped together. So it becomes that bonding experience of meeting people in the community and earning or finding friends that come back. I love that part of it.
It is something awesome, that's for sure.
And
So, has cannabis, I guess, fair question, has cannabis ever gotten you in any trouble? Fair question in a red state, I guess.
I and this sounds, I don't know, some people judge you on your record, like, oh, nothing's ever happened. But I have escaped clean, completely clean. I have managed to skirt, I don't know under what radar, under whose guidance, whomever, the cannabis gods themselves must have been watching over me for many years. When I had my little basement grow in the tiny conservative town, that was the night that I might have gotten the knee, and I might have been arguing with my wife, and the house, there was no smell control. It was loud. It was so loud. And it was the night we got into an argument, and the police came, and they said, I smell weed. And they looked at my wife and said, are you smoking? Who's smoking? My wife looked him dead in the eye. Love the woman. Looked him dead in the eye and said, we all do. So we use it medically. We use it to calm our nerves. We smoke. All of us do. And the cop was so dumbfounded, he did nothing. If that man would have walked down in my basement being an asshole, it'd have been over for me for sure. I forget exact. I know I had X amount in one room and then like maybe one or two off in the side in a tent, but it was enough to, yeah. So I've skirted it. I've been lucky enough to somehow manage to stay underneath that radar.
Right. Good, my friend. Good. Sounds like it's on your side in that way.
Something luck or something, blind luck, dumb luck, stupidity, something. I'm sitting in right now. I got my rolling tray out in front of me, and I'm sure it's loud as all where I'm at. And thank goodness I have fantastic neighbors, and I have also invited them to the events because it appears that a lot more people smoke in a state like we're at. It's taboo. You don't bring it up, but if you're a guy like me and you bring it up, you find out a lot more people smoke than you realize. And so I've been passing out flyers. You're like, hey, you know what? Don't go to the dispensary, please. Please don't go to the dispensary. Come up to something like this, meet some friends, hang out. There's more of us. There's a lot of us out here. We're all here. And I guess that's why I reached out to you, and you said it was easy talking to me. It's because that's what I want to do. I want to spread the word. I want to tell everybody. I want everybody in the same boat. Hey guys, we're here. We're here, and it's not something to be ashamed of. You shouldn't be afraid to have it. If you feel that it's a plant, it's a plant, guys. Then take away the stigma, remove the stigma, and we can get pretty far.
It's infectious. It really is. I love the energy off of people discovering cannabis, the new growers. I do. I love to see the twinkle in their eyes when they talk about it. That's another thing that's so powerful about the plant. Again, kind of talking, we're getting back to the medicine side of things without consuming it. You know what I mean? If you
There's
can just
more
talk
healing.
about it and get all giddy and smiling, you're producing oxytocin in your system, the love drug, you know what I mean? Putting good stuff already, medicine through your system just by talking about it. You know what I mean? You haven't even consumed it yet, or you know what I mean? Stepped into the grow room. And the healing process has already started.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I get, I over talk. I sometimes in situations will, hey, you smoke? Do you like to smoke? I'll ask a neighbor or something. Sometimes I make a situation uncomfortable and whatnot, but I want everyone to know. I want everyone to know that it's okay and be proud.
So if you could choose a direction to like go in, you know what I mean, as far as doing something in the community, would you focus on possibly like growing, making edibles, extracts, possibly seeds someday? Where would your dream kind of point to now? You know what I mean?
In this community, as like,
Yeah.
where do I pizza, feed the masses. I like you tell I like making people happy, right? And what makes people happier at a place where you're camping or at an event anywhere? A hot pie after a day of eating edibles and just smoking, and you got the mad munchies. But there's the smiling pizza guy. Boom. That's where I see myself. I love the plant. I don't ever want. Do I want to get to the point of where I could grow my own? Sure. Do I ever think I'll get to the point of where I want to do something like that? No, I think my heart's in pizza, or just food, if you will. It doesn't have to be pizza, but pizza I would love, and that's where I see myself going around to events and being a food guy and smiling and meeting friends and serving people and people watching. People watching is fun. People are fun. Just that's where I see myself. That's what would make me the most happy.
That's awesome. I can see that being a good thing. I just seen a big old fucking spider walking on my wall over there.
No,
That's what
burn
that
the house,
crazy
burn
eyed
it,
look
burn it.
was. It was like,
It's
what
done.
the fuck?
So if you could just
Yeah.
get up and run, I understand. I get it.
If you could see me just slap something right quick, you know what? I got bit that weekend by a spider on my lip fucking camping. That's one of the only downsides of camping. That
True.
fucker had a nice little fucking bite on my lip for it's still kind of healing up. Yeah. So now even more so now I'm like fuck spiders.
Just like,
So I'm like to get back to the pizza thing, man. That would be good, man. I could actually see a couple of like different angles, like for the pizza. I'm looking down because I seen him like crawling down the wall and fucking so I could actually see like a cannabis based sauce to where you like,
mm,
you put a little bud in there and use it a little bit like kind of like oregano or something like that. Give it a start. But then again, I could see, like a vegetarian, like a sugar leaf top like pepperoni, take some nice fan leaves, they're all nice sugar coated and just lay them across, you know what I mean? The
mm,
nice, yeah.
mm.
Oh man, it would be
Oh, there's
just
desserts.
yeah.
Desserts. You could do some sort of dessert, s'mores or something like uh, some sort of cream cheese frosting after it's cooled down on a cinnamon crust, something along those lines. Oh yeah, possibilities here. Yeah, endless. Definitely infused would be ideal. Yes, just I'd also like to. Yeah, you could be able to do both if you infuse the sauce. You could offer options either way. Definitely.
I was surprised. I had a decent pizza down there. I thought it was cool that it was hard to resist. The little guy, the guy that had the little wood oven.
Oh,
How
props to
you turn down a wood oven fucking pizza on on the spot like that. You know what I
you
mean?
know you can't. It was wonderful. I had a couple. I had a couple myself. I'm not gonna lie, those were fantastic pies. Loved it. Loved that oven.
But it wasn't medicated. It was good, but it wasn't medicated. You still got
What
space.
did
Well,
you think?
I'm
I got
sure.
that
I'm
little.
sure the Pizza Pirates would probably be just as good, if not
Oh,
better, for sure.
oh, it would definitely be good. I'm not gonna claim to be better than anyone's until I get it out there. You got to taste it yourself. I would personally love to make it your pie next time you happen to be around, or I happen to be around.
Uh, There's plenty of room for things like that in the cannabis community for sure.
There's so many niches in the cannabis. There's so many different facets. I guess that's what also fascinates me is endless possibilities. There's no locked in who you are. They kind of accept everyone, and everyone finds their own little niche. And cannabis users are pretty creative. They usually happen to find that niche that where it's missing. They'll plug it. They'll figure it out. Pretty smart group of people.
Definitely go against what we've always been taught, man. Everybody I've seen at them events, everybody I know in cannabis is a hustler. To be honest with you, in the good way, man.
They're hungry. They're hungry.
Yeah.
Gotta feed those that are hungry.
Well, I do mean that in a great way, though. I mean, most of us are, yeah. And again, I kind of listening to these folks realize, man, I know I need more than 4 to 6 hours sleep. Quit rubbing it in, book, but that's average. For most people in the cannabis industry, that 4 to 6 hours between tending in the garden and doing what you got to do, that seems to be pretty average in the cannabis industry for people that do what they do.
And it's much respected. But that was when you were asking about the gardening experience. I'd never really covered how much work I realized that it was defoliating, just trying to keep up with everything and pH and yeah. So much respect to you guys who do that every single day and getting those 4 to 6 hours of sleep so people can have access to their medicine. To you, thank you very much for you guys. My dog is looking at me funny.
You ever share a good smoke with your dog? I'm not saying necessarily getting him high, but just sitting there. I do it all the fucking time. Almost every morning, sit down with my cup of coffee, smoke my joint. He'll like jump up on my leg and we just kind of pet him and just, you're all right, man.
She is
Yeah.
definitely she's definitely partaken with us for sure. She's an aged old girl, and we've gotten her like CBD treats and whatnot, and her hips are going. And she's looking at me right now. I think she may have to go out. I may have to cut this short. I apologize for that.
Oh, no worries, brother. I'm grateful for whatever I get. You know what I mean? So no worries.
She's gonna bark at me here.
You got a walker, or do you have to just let her out?
I have to walk her, unfortunately, in the current circumstances. It'd be for a couple minutes,
on, brother. Well, yeah, I could talk to Chad if you wanted to take care of that, or we could cut it early and you would come back in the weed nerd world. It's completely up to you, man. It is your night, your time.
I appreciate you having. I appreciate you having me so very much. I can pop in Weed Nerd World at any time and say hi, and I appreciate you giving me this time. And I know I've rambled and just been all over the place, and your little squirrel lighter, most definitely. A little over caffeinated, a little overexcited, just happy.
Oh man, I've had a lot of fun, brother, for real. And I hope you do take me up on the offer to come pop in the weed nerd world. We love meeting people at any phase in the cannabis industry, not in the industry. Take that back, scratch that back, because there is a difference between industry and community. People in the community, there's a better well said.
There we go.
So Zoom link that I sent you this evening is the same link that is it's good for you. Anytime you see the Weed Nerd World, you do not need an invitation. Just hey man, I grab your tray, fucking get you some coffee, come smoking, come hang out.
Take the dog out first.
Have some fun.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely, I would take
The other
you up
thing
on
I'd
that.
like to get from you, my friend, is this silly thing I call the sound bite. Basically, what I'm looking for in my version is, hey, this is Eagle, and I'm on fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 669. You can say whatever you want or before, after that, as long as it's got that in there somewhere, I'd be super grateful. I am ready right now.
Hey, this is Eagle. We're on fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 669. This is the Pizza Pirate. Happy to be here. What a wonderful guy. Listen, subscribe, like. Have a happy day.
That's got to be the funniest one I've heard yet. Just simple for the simple fact that you repeated it back just the way I said it. That's my version. It's supposed to be, this is a pizza pirate, and I'm on fucking talking shit with Eagle.
Hey, I'm higher than Eagle something right now.
Take two.
All right.
Take two.
Take two. I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm ready.
Hey, this is the Pizza Pirate. We're on fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 669. Hey, hope you guys are having a great day. Stay elevated. That's what I got.
Perfect.
Man. That word.
Perfect.
I can't believe no, because when you said when you said that, I thought you said I needed to repeat that. So I'm over here going word for word. I'm repeating it. I'm just repeating.
You have chat rolling. You have chat rolling right now.
I hope so.
They're like, "Was it real Eagle? Please stand up."
I get you know what? As long as I made somebody's day, as long as I made somebody laugh, I'm good with that. I'm happy with that.
You made 55 of us laugh, brother. You made 55 of us laugh.
That's a win for me. I'll take it. Even one.
With the hell yeah. With that being said, you better walk that dog, my friend. And again, keep that invitation handy, brother. This is a fun meet. I know other people would enjoy hanging out with you as well. So thank you one last time, my friend. You have a good night. You're always welcome. Starts tonight, by the way. You get bored this evening, you can come back.
All right. Thank you. You're very welcome. I hope you have a great night, man.
All right. See you now. For the rest of you guys, I will see you guys here in the Weed Nerd world in a few minutes. Empty your bladders, fill your trays. For those of you that will not transfer over, remember to do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. A living, breathing example of that. With that being said,